Hey, how are you doing? It's another day, and this is actually after 10 o'clock, so just a lot of people are still going to work, and it's rush hour, so trains are going to be packed again, and some people maybe are going at later times, but that's besides the point. Big news, I guess, in Japan is things are trying to return to normal, so that's why you're seeing so many people. And meanwhile, around the world, they're dealing with the COVID-19, and the U.S. has just topped 100,000. George Floyd is the big news in the U.S. because of his murder by a police officer, the choking, and that's kind of big news. I'm not sure if Japan will break into, with all the foreigners here, protests. There's less foreigners than last time that there were protests here. But it is still big news in the U.S. Our prayers and thoughts are with you. Protests have pretty much resulted in shutdowns and curfews all throughout the U.S. and this is Japan right now. The reaction is just go back to normal and try to stabilize the economy. So Japan hasn't put anything else out except return to business as normal. So a lot of workers have been forced to go back to work. This is Ron here, and inviting you to kind of think about how you can change racism. It might not be something you're connected to or you're thought about going out and protesting, but would you think about trying to change people? There's some areas that do need change in the economy, jobs, and education. But it starts at the grassroots level where we can make friends with people, reach out with different communities. This is the only way things are going to get changed, not by leadership exactly, but by people, person to person. If you're in a sort of social economic situation in the U.S. where you don't have friends of color, maybe it's time you started reaching out and getting involved in other programs that lend themselves to helping people. Sometimes it can be done through church, sometimes it can be done through donations, but I think the person-to-person mentality is going to change America. Here in Japan, racism is a little bit different. Some people have experienced it, and others just have to get used to that 99% of the population are Japanese. So there's less foreigners here, so I think it's not easy to see the racism as opposed to this is how Japan operates. So there is a lot of things in place to prevent this kind of thing, and generally Japanese people are not racist. There's always some oddball person or some situation that can upset people, but for the most part police are not choking people out and doing crazy things to people in protests. The protests here are actually escorted by the police if you register. So you can actually have a registered parade or protest with the police, and you can see some links below where I've filmed some Japanese that are protesting. And a lot of protesters here are very niche protesters. So they try to protest for things like job security or jobs for young people, also like things against the nuclear disarmament. Some people are against the Article 9 that allows Japan to arm itself and go overseas. So a lot of niche protesters have banded together and they have a combined protest. So, but there are cases where people have protested just by themselves, but usually they'll have an escorted police presence. Not sure if this is going to happen with the social distancing that's already happening, but unfortunately people are just in a hurry to get back to work and get the economy going. Let's keep our prayers for America at this time, and especially prayers for Japan to recover properly. Thank you.